What is going on, guys? My name is Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. And if this looks a little bit different, it's because I am filming this video on my phone instead of my camera. My camera's dead. I also have a cool wireless mic that I'm using. If you're wondering, I'm using the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is the front-facing camera. But it is the end of the month, and I'm going to show you everything that I got for the month of March. Really excited. Today is actually the 30th. Tomorrow is Easter, so I wanted to film this today, so I'm not doing it tomorrow. Really excited. It's a pretty good mix. So we got some movies, we got some books, and some books I'm very excited about. So let's go ahead and start with the books. First off here, and this is my current read, and that is The Stand by Stephen King. I am about 330 pages in, 336 to be exact. This book so far has been phenomenal. So I actually had a gift card from work and I purchased a paperback version on Amazon. Oh my God. I hate sneezing. But I'm doing this on my phone. No cuts, no edits. I purchased a paperback on Amazon for less than $10. Turns out it was a mass market paperback. I'm not against mass market paperbacks, but on a book this big, it just felt cheap. The pages felt cheap, and I just feel like it would be too hard to read. I don't know. For a book this size, I just wanted a bigger book. So I actually took that paperback in and a couple other books that my wife wasn't interested in and traded them in at a local bookstore, and I got this version. So this is a much bigger version, and again, this book is phenomenal, and I'm really sad I didn't start reading it sooner. My wife and I watched the show on Paramount Plus, and we absolutely loved it. And I can honestly tell you, I mean, it's a mini series, 9 episodes, but this book dives way farther into the backstory of the characters, and it's so good. I highly, highly recommend this book. It is a big one, so it definitely is a trek to read, but I'm really excited. Next up here, we have probably my favorite looking book in my collection. One of the mutual friends I have on TikTok recommended this book, and he had a really cool cover, and I looked it up on Amazon, and it is this right here. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Yeah, I don't know. This book, it just looks awesome. He described it, and I was like, I absolutely have to read it. It looks like an old VHS copy, which is just super cool. I don't know. The hardcover was really cheap. The paperback was a little bit cheaper, but the hardcover just looks stupid compared to this one. It just looks so good. Cannot wait to check that out. Next up, this is a book that was recommended. I'm in a book exchange, a monthly book exchange, and this was one of the books that was recommended to me by another person in the group. And apparently, this is a very graphic book, like very graphic. Like it's considered splatterpunk, and I guess like this book will make you feel uneasy. It's just very gruesome in details, and it's just very gory and gross. I don't know. It's called My Monster and is by Thomas J. Klein. It's not a very big book. It's only like 140 pages, maybe, if that. 143 pages to read. So yeah, this is going to be my first extreme graphic book. I probably won't get too many of these, but I have heard stories about books of similar nature. Next up, this is what I picked for the book of the month, and that is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Essentially, from what I gathered, this is about a girl who grew up in a small town, and she was best friends with this other girl, and her best friend ended up dead, and the girl that this book is about was like walking back into town with no recollection of what happened and blood all over her, and she leaves and moves to LA, and then these true crime podcasters pick up the story, and the girl hears about it and is forced to go back to her hometown to find out what happened to her friend because she doesn't remember doing it. So I don't know. It seems interesting enough. Now let's go ahead and get into the movies. I got some really good stuff, and I will say this was a very Steelbook heavy month, unintentionally, but I did add a lot of great Steelbooks to the collection. You might hear my baby in the background. He is having a fantastic time. I am happy for him. First up here, we have Pumpkinhead from Scream Factory. This is a movie that's just been on my list for a really long time, and for a while, Best Buy was selling the 4K Steelbook for like $10. Every time I went to get it, it was sold out. And the regular 4K is fluctuating in price anywhere between $30 to $40. And to be honest with you, I really don't need this movie on 4K. The Blu-ray was cheap enough, and I got it. And it is a Scream Factory title. And yeah, this is just an absolute classic. So my wife and I were recommended a movie to watch on Amazon Prime called Dark Harvest. And the person was like, it's like Pumpkinhead. And I was like, well, now my wife needs to watch Pumpkinhead. So I got Pumpkinhead. Next up here, this is a new release in a movie that I was probably looking forward to the most picking up this month. And I watched it last night, and I must say, this movie, I had high expectations, and it exceeded them. I avoided every single spoiler possible. I've just heard nothing but great things about the story. And this is A24's The Iron Claw with Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White. And this movie, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, this movie grips you and holds on, and it sucks you in from beginning to end. It is insane, and I believe this is one of Zac Efron's best performances, hands down. The emotion, it was just, there's one scene specifically in this movie towards the end. I'm not gonna say it, but if you watch the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But man, it just really gets to you. Again, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, I grew up watching. I remember when the WWF turned to the WWE, and it was a whole thing. And I used to watch it back then. And as I got older, I got a little bit out of it. But I obviously did not grow up with the Von Erichs, but um, freaking great movie, man. Freaking great movie. Highly recommend. And then to complete my Rick and Morty collection, because I love Rick and Morty, literally, if I don't even know if I can show you one here. If I can point out, oh yeah, all of this right here, from here to here. Seasons 1 through 6 of Rick and Morty on Blu-ray. And now we have season 7. I watched half of season 6 and never finished it. Didn't see anything of season 7. I started rewatching this show, and I absolutely love this show. I'm on season 3, almost on season 4. But we got season 7 of Rick and Morty on Blu-ray. Just being a fan of the show, and I know Justin Roiland and all that stuff that happened and what have you, but I still love this show for what it is, because the show is great, and I will always like Rick and Morty. I will always like it. Walmart came out with a line of glow-in-the-dark slipcovers, and they even threw some Steelbooks in the mix. And I wasn't interested in any of the Steelbooks. However, I was very interested in this Blu-ray, and that is Twister. Yes, this cover does glow in the dark. It's pretty cool. It's a little gimmicky, but, I'm really excited for Twisters, which is coming out. And as a kid, this movie used to scare the shit out of me. This movie made me deathly afraid of tornadoes for many years of my life, and I don't know why, because I rewatched this with my wife, and some parts of it are just hilariously bad, but this is still such a good movie. This movie just cannot be hated. It's so good, super cheesy, but it's I love it. I love it, and I'm really excited for Twisters, because I feel like it's going to be, probably pretty scary. Now we're getting into the Steelbooks. Vestron Video, amazing company, done by Lionsgate, puts out a lot of really good stuff, a lot of slipped editions that are numbered. And unfortunately, I was a little too late to the movie collecting when those started coming out, so I missed the opportunity to get a lot of those movies with the slips, even though I really don't care too much for slips. If I get them, cool. If I don't, oh well. Though that would be the one line of slipcovers that I would want. But they started putting out Steelbooks, and they started with Maximum Overdrive, which I have. And then they come out with this in March, and I had to get it. And it is Little Monsters, and this movie is awesome, and I love it. And this Steelbook is absolutely gorgeous. On the inside, it's just like the original poster art. Nothing too crazy, but just an absolute classic. Love this movie. So good, and the Steelbook release is gorgeous. And then they put out another one, and for whatever reason, this Steelbook was super hard to get my hands on. Don't know why, but it was. I don't know if it was just the popularity of it, or what, or if it's just the way the Steelbook looks, because it is phenomenal. And that is David Cronenberg's Shivers. I even put out a TikTok, and I had people in different states willing to go to their Walmarts and find it, and it ended up going back in stock online, so I jumped on it because my local Walmart has Steelbooks but doesn't have a Steelbook section, I found out. And shout out to the guy that is the leader of electronics over there, because he's really cool. Big movie collector as well. So I think I found my in man. to getting some of the stuff that they're not putting out, and it's really frustrating. But here we go. We got David Cronenberg's Shivers, and this steelbook is gorgeous. And Vestron actually has 2 more steelbooks coming out in May, which I'm going to get. Let's just be honest, I'm going to get them because I want them. And there we go. And they're super cheap. They're only like, I think $15 or $20 for steelbooks, which really you cannot beat that price for what they are and for as good as they look. But this steelbook is amazing. And I watched this movie for the first time, and it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird, but good. It's good. Next up here, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is the Mill Creek steelbook that came out from Walmart. This movie, they started releasing these on 4K, and I didn't jump on them back then, and now they're just like kind of, I don't want to say like they're hard to find, but they sell for a little bit more. I don't know why. And I've never seen them when they were released. Like I don't know if there was just a lot of popularity behind it, but this is just a Blu-ray steelbook that came out from Walmart in Mill Creek, and I really hope they do more. It is a slipped Blu-ray, so you take this off, and you have the cast. It's a nice matte steelbook. It doesn't come with a digital code or anything, literally just a Blu-ray disc and the slipcover, which is cool. I'll take it. I kind of hope that they do another one for the next movie, so I actually really like this movie. I don't know. I personally like that movie more than I like the Scream franchise. I just can't get into the Scream movies. I'm sorry. And then I was telling you about the guy that works at Walmart. He's like, yeah, dude, I have steelbooks. They just won't let me put them out. I'm fighting. I'm trying to get them back, put them back out on the floor. We're going to make it work. And this is one that's kind of been on my radar for a while. So this was a Best Buy exclusive that Walmart re-released. And that is Dread. And it is a slip steelbook. Now, out of all the Lionsgate steelbooks, this is probably the weakest one, because normally, like they do like a really intricate kind of slip cover, but this is it. That's it. And then the back. And then you have the front of the steelbook, the spine, and then on the back it says, I am the law. This obviously came with a digital code. And then you have the inside art. Nothing too spectacular. It's just kind of been on my radar for a while, and now I have it. And I have not watched it yet, but I will. But we have Dread on 4K, which is pretty cool. But guys, that is it. That is everything I got for the month of March. I hope everybody, if you celebrate Easter, have a happy Easter. I hope you're safe. I hope you just enjoy time with your family, with your friends, whatever you're doing, even if you're by yourself. Enjoy your time alone. I have some friends coming over tonight. Hang out, see the baby, and yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. As always, I'll see you later in another video. Bye bye.